Hi, John here with part one, lesson three. Failing at something doesn't make you a failure. In this lesson, we'll discuss how most societies have an obsession with winning. A dream not attempted is a failed dream. We'll just talk a little bit about failing at one business is not the end of the world. How you can learn from your mistakes. We'll take a look at some of those who failed before us, other entrepreneurs. Failure is pretty much a dirty word around the world. No one likes to fail. We all want our teams to do well. We want our relationships to do well and not fail. But let's face it, we do fail at some things. We dream of starting a business that could become incredibly successful, but the thought of failing at business is too scary for most people. Entrepreneurs have to be stronger than the average person. We have to understand that failing at something is part of the package. We have to be willing to shrug our shoulders and say, oh well, I'll do better the next time. Failing as an entrepreneur is almost part of the process. Fear of failing is a great innovator. I know people, and I'm sure you do too, who are so afraid of failing that they refuse to try it, whatever it is they want to do. For example, some people are afraid of being rejected, that they won't ask somebody out on a date. What is the worst that could happen? They say no, but what if they said yes? Fear of failing causes a salesperson to lose confidence. Fear of failing when you're an entrepreneur will make you fail. Taking risk is not all that risky. Being an entrepreneur does entail risk. Reality is reality. Half of all new businesses fail. Businesses fail for many reasons. People start them without thinking it through. They fail to set goals. They fail because of lack of experience and knowledge, much of which can come from courses like this. Yes, you will encounter risk along the way, but keep in mind that risk is not exclusive to entrepreneurs. Downsizing, a corporate hazard. Think about all the people you know who have heard about that have lost their jobs due to corporations either downsizing or moving to another location. Many of these people felt they were in safe jobs with companies that cared about them as employees. Job security has never been a reality. That sounds really risky to me. Risk is inherent in many jobs too. Police officers, firefighters, construction workers, to name a few, go to work every day taking huge risks. We all take risks in our jobs, and when you really think about it, we all take risks every day. Risk is part of everyday life. I don't think anybody loves risks, not even gamblers. Some people really love taking risks. Think of the people you know who not only don't avoid risk, they seek it out, like mountain climbers, skiers, whitewater rafters, skydivers. Getting married is really a risky thing. 50% of all marriages fail. Having a child is risky. Something can happen to them. But stable, normal people don't forgo the joys and rewards of having children because they are afraid of some tragedy that might take place along the way. There are worse things in life than failing. Let's say that after 18 months, your business fails. Done. Out of business. That scares the heck out of you. You're going to have to get a lot tougher. Failing at business is not death. It's not the end of the world. And if you do, I can promise you, you won't make the same mistakes the second time around. My first business when I was an adult that I started was making and selling jewelry. I knew nothing about what I was getting myself into. I learned so much from this that when I started the teddy bear business, I knew exactly what I wanted not to do. Failing at my first business was a blessing in disguise. Chalk failing up to life and business experience. I never met a person who has not failed at something. And through my own failures, I have learned that failure is hardly ever fatal. Sometimes mistakes are fatal when you don't follow traffic rules or you drive drunk. If you fail to take care of yourself, that mistake can be fatal too. Generally speaking, failing is not fatal, and it won't kill you. Failing often makes you stronger. Failing builds character, makes you more determined, teaches you a lesson, etc. Great failures. This lesson is not to discourage you, but to make you more aware and stronger. You need to take the strength in business from others who have gone before you. Here's some failures that's happened. Windows 1.0 was a flop by Bill Gates, as well as Windows 2.0. It was not until Bill Gates introduced Windows 3.0 that his company produced, and eventually it took off with Windows 3.0. Gates failed and made mistakes, and today is one of the richest men in the world. Milton Hershey, one of my favorite entrepreneurs, failed and went bankrupt 2 times before he made Hershey's Candy one of the world's largest and best candy companies. Henry Ford, he failed too. While Ford is known today for his innovative assembly line and American-made cars, he wasn't always an instant success. In fact, his early businesses failed and left him broke 5 times before he founded the successful Ford Motor Company. R.H. Macy, founder of Macy's, failed also. Most people are familiar with his large department store chain, but Macy didn't always have it easy. Macy's started 7 failed businesses before he finally hit the big one with his big store in New York City. Sergio Honda, founder of Honda, started with a series of failures, along with Akio Morita, who started Sony. His first product was a rice cooker that burnt rice, and he didn't even sell 100 units of it. But that didn't stop him. Harlan David Sanders, better known as Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame, had a hard time selling his chicken. In fact, his famous secret recipe was rejected 1,009 times before a restaurant had finally accepted it. Walt Disney, who is just, to me, one of the most amazing entrepreneurs of all time, failed. He was fired by a newspaper editor because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Can you imagine? Walt Disney with no good ideas failed at first, and he made Disney World. I hope you have a little less stress about failing. It's important to remember that failing is part of being an entrepreneur, and that not trying is an automatic failure to begin with. In review, we all love success, but everybody experiences failure sometimes. Not trying because you're afraid to fail guarantees you will fail. If your business fails, remember it's not the end of the world. And good entrepreneurs learn from their mistakes. Very, very important, and you'll read a lot about other entrepreneurs. Many very successful entrepreneurs had failed at businesses before they finally succeeded. Thank you, and I'll see you in lesson 4. Bye for now.